What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie298 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And this is a new series that I'm wanting to start today, starting it with the new year, called On the Fence, because I've been known as a fence sitter for a long time. And today, I wanted to approach a topic as someone who doesn't really care, doesn't feel invested one way or the other. I just want to talk about a topic from somewhere in the middle and see how mad people get. Hopefully the rest of you who feel kind of like I do, not invested in these types of topics, can enjoy it. And for those of you people who are on one side or the other, maybe you can learn a little bit about how the rest of the world feels. As usual, if you do like this and you want to see more of it, do all of this basic YouTube stuff. Drop a like, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, tell Susan Wojcicki not to ban me, whatever. Whatever it takes these days for you to see my freaking videos. So, over the weekend on New Year's Eve, we saw Patton Oswalt do what he does, which is do stand-up comedy. And after finishing up his show, he headed over to the arena next door where Dave Chappelle was and did a bonus set for Dave Chappelle's audience, and then hung out and took photos with Dave Chappelle, who apparently they've been old friends for a long time. That tends to be the case with a lot of comedians. Now, this predictably caused a heck of a backlash because Dave Chappelle is someone who's been, for lack of a better word, kind of transphobic or anti-trans. He's definitely said some ideology that fits along the lines of the TERF ideas that, you know, trans women are not real women, and he said this stuff on live stage, and he's also backed it up in interviews as well. So because of this backlash, Patton Oswalt posted this to his Instagram. He said, "I saw a friend I hadn't seen in a long time this New Year's Eve. We've known each other since we were teens. He's a fellow comedian, the funniest I have ever met. I wanted to post a picture and an Instagram story about it, so I did. The friend is Dave Chappelle. 34 years we've been friends. He's refocused and refined a lot of ideas that took as settled race and history and life on planet Earth and spun them around with a phrase or a punchline. We've done both good and bad gigs, open mics and TV tapings, but we've also 100% disagreed on transgendered rights and representation." So first off, let me interject here by saying it's okay to be friends with people you disagree with, and that's how it was when I was growing up. You didn't agree with your neighbor. You didn't agree with every teacher. You didn't agree with every kid in your neighborhood. Didn't matter. You could still be neighbors and friends with those people, fellow Americans, fellow city members, fellow countrymen, friends. You could do that, and it used to be okay. And in fact, I think you can learn a lot by being friends with somebody you disagree with politically. And obviously, I think it doesn't work with extremists. Maybe a very strong Christian doesn't want to be friends with a very strong atheist. That might not work out. An Antifa member may not want to be friends with a Klans member. But let's just be honest, nobody wants to be friends with Klans members. They suck. But at the end of the day, it's okay without the most extreme circumstances for people like you and me, or celebrities, or entertainers, or anyone else to be friends with people they disagree with, especially if they're helping each other learn and grow. He goes on to say that they do 100% disagree with transgendered rights and representation. I support trans people's rights, anyone's rights to live safely in the world as their fullest selves. For all the things he's helped me evolve on, I'll always disagree with where he stands now on transgendered issues. But I also do not believe a seeker like him is done evolving, learning, and if you know someone that long, see the struggles and changes, it's impossible to cut them off." Once again, let me interject myself here by saying, I agree with Patton Oswalt here, and I wholeheartedly disagree with Dave Chappelle. And I think by now we all know my opinion on trans rights and trans stuff. I don't get it. I'm a 47-year-old man. It doesn't really make sense to me. I've always felt male in my male body, and that's okay. But if you tell me you identify as female, I'll treat you as female. If you tell me you identify as male, I'll treat you as male. You tell me you're gender fluid, I'll use different pronouns on any given day. It doesn't bother me, doesn't offend me. I'm not so thin-skinned that it bothers me having to change my pronouns. So I will humor you. I will treat you how you want to be treated. I will do unto you as I would have you do unto me, which is show me love and kindness and respect and support and try to give you the best life you can possibly live. And if me making a minor change, like saying she, he, they, them, whatever it is, I don't care. I'll do it to comfort you. And I think Patton feels the same way. I think we should all feel that way. If you don't feel that way, why? Are you that thin-skinned that it bothers you? Just tell me in the comment section below, because I would like to learn from you. He adds, I've been carrying a lot of guilt about friends I've cut off who had views with which I couldn't agree or changed in ways I couldn't live with. Sometimes I wonder, did I and others cutting them off make them dig in their heels deeper and fuel their ignorance with a nitro boost of resentment and spite? Yes, absolutely, you made them dig their heels in deeper. And I've seen this happen in my circle of friends, both on the left and on the right. People who went the Antifa route and completely lost touch with reality and made it impossible for anyone else to be their friends. And the same way with somebody who went down the anti-vaccine rabbit hole and started getting belittling and angry and mad at everybody on Facebook who dare get a vaccine, who dare make their own choice. And I absolutely, when you cut those people off, when you treat them with anger, that's what they're going to return 110%. For the friend who went down the anti-vaccine rabbit hole, I did everything I could to try to bring him back. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I feel. He just kept telling me I was brainwashed and everything else, but at least I made an effort. At least I made an effort, and I feel that effort wasn't wasted because he was a friend I had known for quite some time, played Magic with, played D&D with, played minis with. It sucked to see that happen. It sucked to see him become completely isolated because he went down this stupid YouTube rabbit hole and could no longer function as a person. I don't think that's healthy for anybody. And don't get me wrong, when it comes to extremities, when they go to the very extremes, when they're committing violence, when they're preaching hate, I mean, cut them off, right? That's one thing. But not agreeing with somebody, not understanding something, them just making a mistake and saying something stupid, we shouldn't cut those people off. We should continue to try to educate and befriend them. Unfortunately, that's where we are now as a people. We are cutting off people for the slightest disagreement. For the slightest bad tweet, for the slightest bad videos, for the slightest bad whatever. That's where we've been for a while. And it looks like Patton Oswalt is coming around from that, and I'm really glad. So let me continue reading this. He says, I am an LGBTQ ally, but I'm also a loyal friend. There is friction in those traits that I need to reconcile myself and not let cause feels of betrayal in anyone else. And I am sorry, truly sorry, that I didn't consider the hurt that this would cause, or the depth of that hurt. I've been messaging a lot of people on Instagram today, and the back and forth has really helped guide me in the writing of this. I naively deleted a lot of posts in the comment threads, critical ones from LGBTQ plus writers, and shit posts by TERF anti-trans orcs looking for their clicks and giggles. I wanted a nice comment thread about the pic with my friend. It's so easy to think someone else needs to grow and miss the need in yourself. Going to keep trying. I do like the fact that he says he's both an LGBTQ ally but also a loyal friend, and these things shouldn't really clash. I think you can be a loyal friend and disagree with somebody but still be an ally. And he does apologize here, but no, look at the way he apologizes. He says, I apologize for the feelings and the pain that I caused. And I think some people say that's an invalid apology. I disagree. I think if your intentions were good, and his intentions were good, to just make a bunch of people laugh and hang out with his friend, his intentions were clearly good. He still regrets any negative feelings or bad feelings he put into somebody else, and he's willing to listen and try to learn. Maybe he shouldn't have done it. Maybe he shouldn't have shared it. Maybe he should have been just friends behind the scene. Maybe he shouldn't have shared it on Twitter and Instagram. Maybe that's something he shouldn't have done because of the public perception that he's in, the public eye that he's in, and the hurt that that could cause, especially amongst other friends of his. But should he have to cut off somebody he disagrees with? I genuinely don't think so. As he points out at the end, he did kind of rile up an entire user base of anti-trans people as well as trans people, and you have the option of not sharing everything you do on social media, an option that only I have recently started exercising. So you don't have to share this kind of thing. You don't have to post this kind of thing. You don't have to put it in everybody's faces, especially considering today's social media. Everyone on the internet is looking for evidence and ammo to use against the other side. Like you said, the orcs are trying to attack the LGBTQ and vice versa. They're trying to find proof. They're trying to find this. They're trying to use everything that's said in social media, everything that's said on stage, everything that's said in the TV show, and change it and warp it and make it so that it can be used against the people they disagree with. You don't have to give them that evidence. You don't have to give them that at all. You can still go do Dave's show and let other people talk about it. You can still take a photo with Dave and keep it in your phone and keep it in your pocket. You can still be friends with Dave. Go to lunch with him. Hang out with him. You don't have to put everything on social media. You really don't, especially knowing how crazy people on social media are. So, as a fence sitter, here is my fence sitter take. I believe that you don't have to post everything to social media. I believe that it's okay to be friends with people you disagree with, and if you're in a position of power in public eye, maybe you don't have to share that. Maybe you can continue to be friends with that person, educate that person, learn from that person, disagree with that person in private, and not put it out publicly. And maybe when you come to some common ground, when you find something that the world can use, not as ammo, but as a bandage, as something that can heal you, that's when you share it. That's when you share it. And maybe that's what this is in Patton's mind and Dave's mind. Maybe they're showing that as comedians, they're going to stick together and continue to be friends and continue to be comedians. And if so, I think that's a great thing. I think we should be able to do that. We should be able to perform and work with and be friends with people we disagree with. Lord knows I do it every day. And I hope that if you disagree with me, you're still watching my videos as well, even if you disagree with this. That's my fence sitting opinion. And I'm curious if you agree, because at the end of the day, I think that's how most people do feel. And I think it's how most people possibly should feel. So is it possible that I'm wrong here? Of course. And I'm here to learn from you. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you LGBTQ+? Are you very hurt by what Patton has done here? Are you hurt by what Dave said? Are you able to support these people here even if you disagree with them? Let me know in the comments section below. There's always possible that there's something I'm missing here and I still have plenty to learn, and I'm willing to learn from you. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon.